Hi, we're going to read on the future of Alexei Navalny. Being that I did do a reading and get significant damage to Putin over time with the sanctions. In fact, they will be catalytic, and that means it sets a pace, it sets a trend, and this is what brings his energy, his strength, his power down. It is a significant detail at the end of the day, and which is tracking with what I've always read and picked up on. So I'm going to look at Alexei. He is a Gemini. He was born in 76 in Butyin, Russia. Early June. Let me see very quick. June 4th. Okay, so yeah. And his wife's name is Yula. Oh my God. I just said this perfectly without any problem. Now I sound like I can barely speak, which when I turn on the camera seems to happen. When I read this out loud to myself, no problem. I will be putting in this reading definitely links to other readings and news clips that I think are important if you are interested, and I think you should be, in Alexei Navalny. He's a decent man, truly one of a kind in this world. I have an immense respect for him and his wife and his family. He is an opposition leader to Putin that has been forced to go to prison, and he's there right now. And in fact, there's a recent article out, but I'm not going to read it yet because I want to do the reading without any more influence. And I can check afterwards to see how we're doing. But he faces indefinite house arrest, and Biden is imposing more sanctions on Russia over the Navalny poisoning. This is out just 6 hours ago. Again, this is the 17th of March, St. Patrick's Day. Da, 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 da. Joe's at his best. And anyhow, so I'm telling you, this is an immense thing that Joe's done. I'm really proud. And on St. Patrick's Day, I'm fucking loving it. Biden actually is has kin not far off from where I have kin through marriage, in this instance, in Mayo. So the families all had a good laugh about that, the Murphy family. You can be assured. We are many, and we are silly. Okay, so let's take a look at Alexei Navalny. I want to see, in particularly, if this leverage that Biden now is imposing will break open any kind of negotiation for Navalny to be released. Straight up. Let's just do it. I'm using a new deck. To me, it's called From Mystic Monday's Tarot. All right, if you're curious, that's one. All right, let's get on with the deal. All right. So, I asked my spiritual mentors, with all due respect, to please assist me in reading accurately and clearly, especially with regard to Alexei Navalny and his future. Will Biden manage to get Alexei freed quickly with his sanctions? What can you tell us that we ought to know or need to know about Alexei Navalny, his freedom that we are asking for intervention for from spirit into the physical realm to empower this good cause. And I ask for their help to read accurately and clearly on whether or not Navalny will be released quickly, or whether he's going to be used as a captive that is a hostage, in essence, of Putin, which is what I'm afraid of. But I'm not afraid of it, because Putin's ass is going to get handed to him, really and truly. At the end of the day, he will lose power, and that's it, man. It's his time. I'm shown that from the cards, and I believe it. Absolutely I do. In the universe, I trust it. And it's showing me, when I see death, I have an understanding between me and death. And when I see that card, I know. I know when it's more than likely an actual physical death. And I know when it's more of a figurative death. And in this case, definitely, when I see it and its presence on someone like him, it's the gloves are coming off by the universe. A power greater than Putin will make itself known. And much to his dismay and much to his shock, because there is a collective power that will come together to remove him. Not just an earthly fashion. There's the unseen hand always at work. And if you don't believe that, you're foolish. You're the one who's foolish. Okay. So let's see for Alexei Navalny. He'll be a swords because he's a Gemini. Okay. So let's just have a look. Okay, well, we've definitely got that feeling of the old prison routine getting old. And he has been through so much, and it shows. He's a seasoned warrior for social justice and civil rights. King of Pentacles crossing him. I'm going to do the Celtic cross on him. This could be a lawyer, could be somebody that's, some sort of person that he's speaking to. 10 of Swords. This is, about the end of a cycle of painful speaking. And I think I'm given to understand immediately that he's speaking about Putin's legacy of regime of terror and death and stagnation and ruin. That's how he thinks of it. Ruin. Nothing but ruin for their country. And he's right. He's victimized everybody, is what the vibe is coming in. And crowning him, there is the Six of Pentacles, getting help, getting international help, getting people that are, good allies. It's very, very important to have good allies. You don't want to not have any diplomatic skill and just be an island, so to speak. You want to be, diplomacy is a really important skill. It's how you avoid bloodshed in how it should be. And I see he seeks diplomatic help, diplomatic allies that can assist him. And if he doesn't seek it, I think there's even more that will be even more attracted to him. Biden sets a trend. I'm telling you. That's how it's meant to be. And he does that. Because other nations will follow suit. Other nations will follow suit who are fed up with Vlad's interference in their stuff. Like I've said before, they will join America over time as they see they'll feel more safe to kind of come in under that wing also. Ace of Swords. Yes, this is him telling the truth. And also having it used against him. Make note, this is the 9. It's sitting on the 10 of Swords, and behind is the Ace. So he definitely feels like Putin's out to kill him. And I'm wondering, is this man here somebody like an assassin? Because it's connected to an Ace of Swords. And here we have the 5 of Swords. This is a form of being a thug, yes. This is a thug of Putin's that he's being crossed with. Perhaps yet while in prison. Most definitely, while he's in prison, he's very vulnerable. There are people within there that Putin can manipulate and set upon him in an environment that is totally controlled as Putin wishes. So it is very important, I am getting from the universe, that we get him out of there as soon as possible, because there are assassins there. There are people there that seek to do him harm, that seek to eliminate him. And in particularly one man here, this King of Pentacles that the universe is identifying. He would be a man of an earth sign, of an earthly nature, very susceptible to the material senses, to be appealed to, that type. But help. So he's asking for help. This is going on. We don't realize it. We aren't being told about it. Russia, Putin controls so much of whatever is going on there from ever getting out. This doesn't look good. This is, he's having to deal with, I think, threats while he's and behind bars from within prison. Princess of Cups. This is where his mind is at. And I feel like it's at a surprise. He's looking forward to even the smallest surprises of a show of support. It means a lot to him. So I'd say if you have a website, if you have a YouTube site, feel free to put in your, bulletin, whatever, do a video for him, put up some good PR for him, or perhaps support through a post on your bulletin. This is what he's really hoping for, a grassroots movement around the world of people that would maybe support him, because he feels like he's dealing with King of the Bullies, Yeah, he is hoping that Putin is forced out. But it's not just hoping, it's what's in the environment, is an abandonment. And I think he knows that Putin intends to leave him there at this point, indefinitely, and has abandoned him forsaken him to a prison. I also get that. But what he doesn't anticipate in his movements in doing so, there's consequences. He's acting like he can abandon all consequences of what he's done to Navalny and just act like it didn't happen and ghost. That's what an Eight of Cups type energy will do. They run away. Then face consequences. So he's going to try to avoid consequences of being and continuing to be a bully and having thugs in place to try and threaten Navalny, that are threatening him. I shouldn't say try. They are actively doing it now, is what I'm getting, and have been. So Navalny really needs a show of support from around the world, of support, and not letting Putin away with this without consequences globally. And I think people will say, not so fast. I think America will draw attention and is now drawing attention on a global scale to Vladimir Putin and treating him the way he should be treated, which is that, you know what, we're letting him know that it's at the time and the moment of our leadership's choosing, they will punish him. And they will also set sanctions that will be levied against him for what he's doing. This man needs to be freed. So we need to jump on the Biden bandwagon of support, and that's definitely up. I'll put a link in the description box. This isn't the hopes or fears, and that's the Four of Swords. He fears definitely dying in prison. I think that's fair enough. And he wants there to be peace. That's fair enough. End result is the Five of Cups. There is some sense of loss, but not all is lost. And who is this loss for, though? I do have two fives. Five of Swords, this bully behavior, and emotionally, the Five of Cups. Feeling, I'm sure he does at times, feel really alone, feel really abandoned in a prison where people can get to him. So I think he has his bad days. And it would be really, really important, the cards are indicating, for a show of support. What he's hoping at the end of this is there is going to be some sort of, I believe, re-evaluation of his being held. Yes, that will come about. I think the pressure will be enough. I think it will still be very, very difficult for Navalny, maybe especially more so because he's going to face punishment as they're being punished for having him in captivity. But I believe that pressure will work. Navalny's going to have to really bite the bullet as much as he can until the meantime. And I do see him being threatened. I do see him being bullied and pushed around, probably punched, things like that. Honest to God, while he's in prison, for sure. I wish I didn't see that. He's a tough man. And he's a good man. There will be watchfulness. And they will be very slow to release it, but they will look at. Yeah, it's because he's too great a he's too great a burden himself upon their nation. So there's going to be people that are saying, cut him loose, Putin. He's bringing too much, he's not worth it. If we cut that, then we can get some relief. So now Putin's going to face people in his ear about it. Good. Oh, good. Ace of Wands. Light a fire under his butt. Yeah. He wants to be able to just sit there and indefinitely do nothing. But he's not going to be able to do that here with this Ace of Wands. There's going to be a new activity of people that are saying, in and amongst and around him, you've got to set Navalny free. And Navalny, in the meantime, will see this new start of activity. And he, like I said, has to endure. Unfortunately, when he can't do what, only doing what he can do, he is somewhat dependent on waiting for the outside world to catch up and just managing to stay, alive. And it does show a new start of activity. And I do think that means also, threats to him, because as things get tougher, I think Putin's going to be sadistically taking it out on him. But I think it will get to a point where now Putin's getting people coming through to him, or at least getting through to him, is it worth this? Is he worth this? 10 of Cups. 8 of Pentacles. I believe there is release to family here. Something will have been worked out with Pentacles. So I believe there is work. He will be in some sort of, I think, potentially different holding. They might move him to a different type of prison while this is going on. It's just a feeling that maybe that'll happen. But I feel like he might have moved out of the rougher place where that's awful, and be put to a better place in the process of some kind of maybe negotiation here. Death. An end of Putin's power. Yeah. So there will be an end that he gets news of. I don't believe that this is showing an end upon him. But I believe he'll be very happy that something that he's worked so hard upon would bring Putin down. That Putin's holding him will be his biggest mistake, because he'll be able to rally support that will ultimately be, in the long term, an end to Putin's power. I do declare judgment. Yes, I am right. The cards say so. 10 of Pentacles. Yep. That will manifest. And I do believe that he will be freed to his family with that 10 of Pentacles. I believe once Putin is out of power, or his power is waning, he'll be freed. There's a big deal anyway with this. There's a radical change. So I do see him being freed through an ending that's coming. And I have to think, with the readings I've been doing, it's Putin's ending, the ending of his power. Now, that might take some time. I don't look for it to be necessarily really sudden, but it could happen suddenly to the rest of us who aren't aware of everything going on behind the scenes. But there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and I would encourage the public to get behind supporting him publicly. And I see Putin out of power, and I see Navalny with family. Peace after a long fight. Now you could say, well, hope that he isn't killed in prison. I do too, but I didn't see that like a fight and then death. I got the death card before I got the fight card. Now I'm seeing that what makes sense to me as a story would be, and that's what you do when you read the tarot, logically. To me, I think it likely that with the other readings I've also given, that with the loss of Putin's power over Navalny, over holding Navalny, Navalny will be freed. And if Navalny expires on his watch, Putin will be in deep, you know what? Because Biden is not playing, I'm telling you. Do not poke the Scorpio with a stick. Never wise. King of Swords. This is Putin. He's a Libra. Knight of Cups. I feel like he's going to be wanting to look at some offers. Because he's going to be wanting to disappear. The Hermit. He's hoping to gaslight and confuse so he can exit out the door. He wants to have his exit confused. He doesn't want people to know where he's at, but there is yet enough support for him for a while, for him to hold him off. But that's going to change. The support will grow, I'm getting, actually, for Alexei. As this grows globally, both locally and globally, and it's going to go back on Putin. Because it's imbalanced what he's doing, and so it's going to I'm getting it that I got the word boomerang, and so it's going to boomerang back at him. What he puts out in the world is kind of coming back to him. It's going to become his headache holding this guy. Good. But I think it also sets off his paranoia, etc., which are ticking time bombs in somebody. And, that's all I got to say. Queen of Wands. I saw Queen of Wands in the other reading on Biden and Putin. A Queen of Wands. There she is again. This is in regard, I'm reading on Navalny. And she takes something away. There's something she does behind the scenes in taking something away. She might be somebody that does them a favor. A friend, let's just say, maybe, I think. I am not sure who that mystery woman is. We'll know more when we get there. That'll be fun to look back and see. She's a fire sign. Knight of Pentacles. This is that steady, get through each day energy, trying to stay alive, and victory with the Chariot. So yes, he will survive and he will be freed is what I get. But he will be freed on the waning of Putin's power. And there will be, and needs to be, global show of support visibly to put the pressure on Putin to release this man. It's so stupid. And so I do see him being released, but I see while he's in prison, it's very dangerous for him. And this is truly a human rights issue because he's receiving threats, he's being threatened, he's been physically, I believe, also pushed and threatened, and he knows that there are people there that within the prison that would do Putin's bidding. And Putin doesn't care anymore. He's like throwing away the key with this man. But he wants to do that, but Biden's not going to let him. And it will make him say uncle. It will. But he will effing be so mad. That's okay. That's what he deserves. And his own poison will poison him. All right, there's my reading. And I see Navalny being free, and I'm glad I do. Good.